Of course, for me, it's like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit frustrating having a secondary jungler around. I'm not really the type of guy who's happy with watching from the sidelines and just chilling on the bench. I want to be part of the games. I want to be part of the action and do my job to actually get the team as far as possible.
And there I get killed again with no vision from absolutely nowhere, because Zoe is a balanced champion. Thank you, Riot Games. Thank you for this amazing champion.
Brain effect mood? Helps your serotonin levels and makes you feel more relaxed. Huh.
And we lose Baron because our jungler missed Smite, but you know what? That's okay. We all make mistakes. And next game will be better, I'm sure.
Hello everyone, this is Darius from the Shotcaller. As you probably have guessed, there's no way we're gonna do week 1 of LEC without an interview with Broxah. How are you doing? After that interesting game against Misfits, but more importantly, after starting to a split with 2-0. That's really unusual for you guys.
So I feel a bit mixed. Obviously being 2-0 feels really nice, especially after the last split where it took us a while to grab that first win. So having those 2 wins feels nice. And I feel very mixed about our game against Misfits because it started off so well and I was 4-0 and I was really feeling it like this was going to be a good league game, and then all of a sudden there was like nothing happening for 10 minutes, and then eventually we started taking a few fights and we lost most of them, and then one of them, Sivir, got a triple kill and it started getting a little scary. And then I was thinking like, okay, it felt so nice 10 minutes ago. What happened, guys? But I think we were just playing way too safe and way too afraid. I think it was a little bit similar yesterday. Just getting on stage again and making sure that we play safe and close out the wins. Today was a little too safe and actually gave them a chance to come back. But at least we won in the end.
And the 2-0 scoreline stands, which is, of course, very nice into the next few weeks. And more importantly, you also beat SK and Misfits, 2 teams that would be viewed as, decent competitors of you guys.
For sure. Well, to be fair, at this point in this current split, I feel like beating almost anyone is really important. Comparing to the previous 2 years, this year is pretty stacked, honestly. And while there are a few teams that are expected to be at the bottom, beating anyone is pretty big deal. And there are some teams that are scarier than others, G2 obviously being the main one at the moment, but at the same time, to an extent, I feel like anyone can beat anyone, so just grabbing some wins no matter who we go up against is pretty important.
Pretty important indeed. Now, Origin and G2 are currently playing, which is very exciting. You guys obviously finished 3rd below those 2 teams. Is Origin kind of the main target for you guys?
Well, we're playing against Origin next week, which I'm pretty excited about. Might be a little redemption story in there, hopefully. But yeah, after G2, the main competitor seems to be Origin. Both basing it off their game yesterday, where they played pretty crazy, and then Spring Split. So I'm pretty excited to go up against them next week, and hopefully, as I mentioned, get our redemption, get back on track, and keep the streak going. Because I think if we actually beat Origin, then it's a step in the right direction for us.
Now, both yesterday, but in particularly today, you had amazing performances. Of course, today in particular was really important, getting Bipo ahead, which ended up in the end game being really, really important. Of course, we have to talk about the jungle situation, the team situation. You released your statement, of course, on Twitter, besides the rumors, the situation itself did look a bit more worrying for the average Fnatic fan, also from what I gathered from the community. Would you like to elaborate a bit more on what exactly happened that led to this series of events?
I think more than anything after the Spring Split, there was obviously a lot of disappointment in the Fnatic camp, and there were a lot of disagreements on which approach to take going into summer, like which changes can we consider making to the team, which changes do we want to explore that could possibly make us better and actually take us to a first place rather than a 3rd place. And there was a lot of different suggestions being mentioned, both when it came to changes in staff, in roster, in whichever factors outside the game, inside the game, whatever it may be. Like there was a lot of different options being explored, and in the end, the decision was to explore the option of bringing in a secondary jungler. Now that Dan was actually performing pretty well in the academy team and leading them to a semi-final spot in New Masters, I believe.
Quarterfinals, I believe, or like at least they made it to EU Masters.
They did pretty well at the EU Masters. So yeah, either way, Dan had been performing pretty well in the academy team, and we brought him in for some tryouts in Berlin. He did pretty well, and he ended up sticking around with us, I guess. And of course, for me, it's like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit frustrating having a secondary jungler around. I'm not really the type of guy who's happy with watching from the sidelines and just chilling on the bench. I want to be part of the games. I want to be part of the action and do my job to actually get the team as far as possible. So getting used to the thought of having to share my spot was definitely not easy at first. It took some time to get used to and to actually accept it fully. But at this point, I'm just trying to use it to motivate myself more than anything, to try to make me better, try to work with Dan and try to help each other grow as much as possible. And then hopefully at the end of the day, I can look back at these months in this summer split and say that, okay, even though I felt like this decision wasn't the right one, then, at least it helped me grow and at least it helped me become a better player. That's the goal, at least. So while it's not easy, I am trying to turn it into a positive thing as much as possible.
Right. So what about, you mentioned that you now have to sit from the sidelines at times. Are you like splitting scrim time with Dan, or what's the situation like?
So we are splitting scrim time. I'm getting most of the scrims. I'm still the starting jungler. What's going to happen in the future is something that is uncertain. I don't think anyone really knows, not even our coaches. I mean, we're just really taking it one step at a time. And for the time being, I'm the one sitting on stage and playing the games, and we'll just see how it goes, I guess. For me, all I can do is try to focus on myself and try to figure out what I can do better and how I can make the team win. I think this week went pretty well. One of the errors we had last split was early game, and this week we've had a pretty good early game on stage, so that feels pretty good. I've been doing my job to an extent at least. And then, yeah, just, whenever I do watch your scrims, or whenever I do end up watching the team play on stage, just try to have an outside perspective and try to see from the outside what the team needs and which areas the team is lacking things more than anything.
Right, and it's interesting to me because you look at other teams, and for example, G2 obviously had Promiscu come in due to the injury, but like right now it doesn't look like they will have any substitutes. Origin also currently don't either, and then Fnatic now have a substitute jungler. Misfits going the 10-man roster approach. So looking a bit into the future, do you think that proper competitive substitutes will become more and more common in the league?
I feel like it's only a matter of time before every team has 10-man rosters, to be honest. I think right now the only reason that we don't have a 10-man roster is that, if we actually had a 10-man roster, it would just hurt the academy team, right? Like, we can't just steal or borrow all their players or whatever you want to call it, right? Still managed to sneak out one of them, but, at the same time, if you just take them all, then it's just going to hurt the academy team, right? So I think eventually it's going to be a bit similar to in football, where every player has, a backup that's always ready to step in if necessary. For the time being, there's only a few teams doing that. Like Misfits is one. It's pretty interesting to see Rogue sub in more or less their full academy team as well, right? But for now, for us, I think more than anything, we just wanted to bring in like a sixth man, a sixth opinion in a way. Like, it's no secret that we have a lot of strong voices in the team, and often it's easy to target the jungler if things go south. And now having another guy, seeing things from my perspective and seeing things from an entirely different point of view than everyone else, it is just really important for the team as a whole, I think.
Did you by any chance talk with Soaz, given that you had your time together on the same team and he was in a similar position to you? Well, I mean, or at least somewhat similar position to you in the past.
I was actually a bit surprised seeing how many people reached out to me and made sure that I was okay. It felt really nice, and Soas was one of those reaching out and making sure I was okay, checking on me, and yeah, I mean it just feels really good that people actually support me and that people have my back, I guess. I was pretty curious to see what the public reaction was going to be when the announcement came, because at least for me, it came as a bit of a surprise. It wasn't really the approach I was going to take. But the fact that a lot of fans and people around the scene in general actually did support me and did have my back, and just genuinely believed in me, did feel really nice. And just seeing those type of things also helps me remain confident and believe in myself, because even though this decision now has been made, I still am confident, and I'm still very, very much looking to prove that while Jankos did seem like the best jungler last split, there's also another Danish guy around who you have to fear.
Definitely. One of my favorite comments, I think it was like number 2 upvoted on Reddit or something like that, was like, man, I hope Team Liquid picks him up now, because they will have an open import slot now, because Jensen is now also grandfathered, and Steve likes to pay good, and hey, maybe if you want to go retire a bit early, then...
I did see there was a bit of a war on Reddit between NA fans and EU fans, with all the TL fans wanting to steal me away.
Which, I mean, is a good thing. They want you as a player.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, I'm happy that they want me to be part of their team, right? And that they want me, or that they think I'm a really good player. But at the same time, sadly for the NA fans, I am contracted with Fnatic for 1.5 years, and I am not going anywhere, so a bit unlucky, but at least half of the fan base, the EU fans, will be happy to hear that.
Pretty sure that's even a bit more than half of the fan base, at least of your fan base. I mean, yeah, I would be very disappointed if both you and Wadid would leave for NA. I mean, what would I do here then? What would I do?
I guess you would have to be imported as well.
Travis, watch out.
TL Darius.
TL Darius, yes, get those fat stacks. I can't wait. Anything you would like to say to the Fnatic fans?
Well, I feel like I've already been through it a little bit, but as I mentioned earlier, thank you so much for supporting me and just for sending me a lot of cheerful messages, for talking nicely about me in public. Like, seeing all those warm messages all around the internet about me was really nice, and it meant a lot to me. Because, I mean, the past month has been a bit weird for me. It has been a bit frustrating at times, but knowing that the fans still believe in me and still support me just, carries a huge meaning.
Very nice. And a hashtag for the people that watch until the end.
That's I think we already had this hashtag before, but I'm gonna change it up a little bit. Hashtag Broxah Redemption.
Hashtag Broxah Redemption. What was the original then?
I think we had a redemption one before.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, okay.
But this time it's a Broxah Redemption. It's a bit more specific this time.
Yeah, it was after the D2, the loss, right? Like after
It was probably at one point in Spring Split when we were down really low, and it was time to get redemption.
And now it's time for Broxah to get his redemption. So hashtag Broxah Redemption into the comments if you watch until the end. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Broxah, for your time. Make sure to follow him on Twitter and Twitch. And this was Darius from the Shotcaller. I hope you guys have a good day. See you guys then. Bye-bye. We'd especially like to thank Krzysztof Bujnowicz, Thomas Göttel, Etienne, Erich Althaus, Lukas Legal, Lazy Raven, Lama Vyuta, and Adam Novosviat for your very special support. And of course, also all the people whose names you see scrolling past you. Without you guys, we would have closed down probably a while ago. So thank you so much for your help. Thank you.